You love podcasts, the stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where two friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents. Or whatever that weird transatlantic thing I was doing. God only knows.
And unleash their weird shifting North American accents.
Whatever spirit overtakes me. Today, I am Amanda with the spirit of, there's Beans with her tail right there. Spirit of Beans.
She's so cute.
Oh, she's so cute. There's Beans.
Because we can also do oceanic accents. Oceanic, what's it called? Australian.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to show everyone Beans' face, but she's not cooperating. She's in a no cameras please mode right now.
No photos,
and a breaker
please.
just flipped because my Goomba just turned off. So it's fine. It's not the breaker that my computer's connected to, so I'm ignoring it. Everything's great.
What the fuck is wrong with us? We're cursed.
Struggling.
We're cursed because it's International Women's Day as we record this, and that is why I bought myself a bouquet of flowers.
You know what? Good for you.
Look how cute they are.
They are cute. It's, you don't need a holiday, a weird holiday to treat yourself, but I'm glad you did.
But that was my excuse. Yes.
I'm so glad.
Who are you?
I'm Amanda. I thought I already said that. Maybe I didn't.
I don't know.
Fucking know. What
I'm
going
Lucy.
on?
This is a fucking train wreck so far. And I bet there's a song about it.
We're not. Oh, there probably is, because that is a great reminder that I should say what the topic is this week. This week, we have a very special fan pick from the lovely Sarah Gallup, who galloped on over to Patreon and joined at $50 a month to sponsor her own episode. And with that power, she chose Swiftie Crimes.
Yeah. I was actually super amped about this because I know next to nothing about Taylor Swift.
I mean, the case that she included cases, or I'm not sure how they identify, my bad. And so as per usual, we get these fun little topics, and then the fan pick case is
Nightmare fuel,
deep trauma. But it's interesting. It's certainly a case study, and we'll get to it, but not without the help of controlled substances.
Bless them.
Let's just make that clear. Sarah did say that they wanted at least one of us, and I texted Lucy and said, do you have this and will you drink it? Because I don't want to partake in
I'm a fucking garbage disposal when it comes to booze, so it's fine.
Now that baby's out, she's ready to take hits for me.
I'm ready.
Let's fucking go. Allegedly, and did I confirm this? No, because I don't care to, and I don't want to tell my algorithms to send me things related to Taylor Swift, though now it's going to happen anyway because my phone is in this room and we're talking about her, so there's no avoiding it. But that's my long-winded way of saying, did I look this up? No. But Sarah said that Taylor Swift's favorite beverage is Sauv Blanc with ice.
I'm not a fan really ever of wine with ice, but I'm taking one for the team. I do have a Sauv Blanc with ice ready to go. And I also just want to say right now that I have a little fun fact in my notes that refutes Taylor's drink of choice. And, far be it for us to limit her to just one drink of choice. So it might be more than one, but her second one, the one that I have, is way more foul than this. So
great. So it's all bad. Love that.
Yeah.
I'm not a Swiftie, and so the shade I will be throwing is not something that I'm going to apologize for, and I won't read the DMs. I don't really get it. I think she is mediocre, and I understand you can work hard, and I'm sure she does. Mm-hmm. I don't care for her, and I don't care for the very lackluster, quote unquote, activism that she does. And that's all I'm really going to say about it until I say more about it later. So Lucy is taking one for the team and drinking the Sauv Blanc with ice. I am going in a different direction. And this is something that my husband picked up that I've been really excited to try and thought that just today would be perfect because he picked it up like 2 days ago and now we're recording. And so here we go. He brought home for me a non-alcoholic THC infused wine.
Whoa, weird.
From Aurora Cannabis, which is based out of Prior Lake, Minnesota. The wine is called weed, O-U-I-D, weed wine. And the alcohol has been removed. And I looked up kind of like how they do that.
Yeah.
So I thought this was really cool because it's non-alcoholic. And even if you don't partake in THC products as well, obviously I'm not recommending this because it says THC in it, but there are entire lines of non-alcoholic wine. There's non-alcoholic sparkling, so you can still get like a similar experience without having to drink the alcohol. And just with like the meds that I've been on, I have really not been drinking very much alcohol. I'm almost exclusively on the weed train these days. So I thought this would be something cool to check out. And I looked into how non-alcoholic wine is made. And so it's obviously science. A chemistry occurs.
Oh.
Sparkling grape juice is not true non-alcoholic wine. Like the stuff that your parents used to get you for like middle school New Year's Eve parties. That's not what I'm talking about when we talk about non-alcoholic wine.
So that'd be like way too much sugar, right? Like
way too much sugar. And it's just that isn't made with the same process that wine is made to make it wine. Like wine having alcohol in it is only one part of what makes it wine. It's not like not all wine has to have alcohol. The alcohol can be removed and it is still a wine. But the process for making it is different. So sparkling grape juice never goes through the process of vinification and never has any yeast added to it to help create the alcohol that we find in traditional wine and also in non-alcoholic wine. There is like a tiny trace amount of alcohol in non-alcoholic wine, similar to what you would find in like kombucha.
Kombucha, yeah.
But non-alcoholic wine follows the exact same steps as traditional wine with alcohol, but during the last part of the process, the alcohol is removed from the wine. And this can be done in a couple of different ways, but the most common way to remove alcohol from wine is through a process known as vacuum distillation. And vacuum distillation uses heat to evaporate most of the alcohol in the wine, leaving only trace amounts of alcohol and also keeping a lot of the flavor. So by maintaining the highest heat possible without getting it to the point where it'll burn or boil, the alcohol can be removed, leaving all of the original wine flavor intact that was created during like that vinification process. Oh, hi, Ray.
Oh, there's Ray.
So I'm super excited. Modern non-alcoholic wines are designed to taste the same as traditional wine. Mm-hmm. And because alcohol-free wine goes through the exact same process as traditional wine, there's a lot of similarities. Like I've actually never had non-alcoholic red wine. This is a Cabernet.
Ooh,
I've had like
red.
non-alcoholic. Yeah, I've had non-alcoholic sparkling, but I'm very excited to check this out. And they did the like heat distillation alcohol removal process, but then the product was infused with THC after the fact and then, bottled and sold by this Aurora cannabis company.
That's super cool. Do you know anything about the infusion process?
I don't, but I could find out.
Well, that could also be a next wine pairing.
It could. Let's save it. Because if I like this, then I'll need more things to talk about next time.
Exactly.
This is corked, but it looks like it doesn't need a wine key. Like you can just kind of pull it off. So should we give that a try?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Oh!
Ooh.
The gentlest little pop.
That's the cutest little pap.
It smells like wine, I'll tell you what.
I'm going to dump my ice into my Sauvignon Blanc. Are we ready for that, ASMR?
Dump it. Take a dump.
Sorry, gotta shake up my ice.
Ooh.
Well, cheers. How's it taste?
That's good. Honestly, it tastes like wine.
Yeah.
Like if you gave me this and didn't tell me that the alcohol had been removed, I would be like, wow, that's the smoothest, gentlest, least acidic wine I've ever tasted. I might not even know that there was supposed to be alcohol in it.
Do you still get that little belly burn?
No, you don't get that. But wow, I'm like kind of shook.
You're going to be fucked up after that bottle.
I probably should have checked how much is in here.
How many milligrams?
There's only 10 milligrams per bottle.
Oh, that's
so
nothing.
that's not going to do shit to me.
You're microdosing. You're saving
I'm
brain
microdosing.
cells.
I'm definitely microdosing, but I also have a joint here for when things get
perfect
beyond my ability to handle without more controlled substances.
Well, my beverage so far just tastes like cold Sauvignon Blanc, but I'm sure as the ice melts, it's not going to taste quite as good.
I'm sure it'll lose its flavor as God intended. Yeah. All right. Well, before we dive into, God help me, the background and maybe psych on Taylor Swift or Swifties,
there's
good. Should we hear a quick word from our sponsors?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sometimes life gets you down a little bit. And you may not have all of the answers for why that is. And then you realize that you can't fix everything yourself. And it would help a lot to talk to a therapist. But you're not real sure how to get started. And you get really bogged down with how to make that next step. And then the overwhelm just puts you right back where you started. And I'm here to alleviate that overwhelm, okay? And just tell you exactly what to do, all right? Talkspace.
Yes.
Okay? Talkspace made it so easy to find a therapist that I liked. It's so convenient to meet online. I can just do this from my home. I can do this from my bed. And it's made a huge difference in my life just having that objective third party, that trained objective third party, literally in my pocket to help me navigate life's ups and downs. So don't wait. You do not have to wait until something bad happens to talk to a therapist. That is such a bad idea, okay? Make sure you have somebody lined up for not if, but when something bad happens, because life comes at you fast, right?
Very fast. So with Talkspace, you can sign up online and get a personalized match with a provider that is right for you, typically within 48 hours, which is
so fast.
So fast, and in a lot of cases, life-saving. Mm-hmm. Talkspace lets you send messages to your therapist so you don't have to wait for your next session to get something off your chest. You can also do like video calls. Mm-hmm. They've got office hours. It's millennial approved. It's a therapist homunculus in your pocket. Therapy, if you've not tried it before, can help you shift your perspective. Also find tools to cope in difficult times and just be a guiding light, like Amanda said, a trained, unbiased third perspective.
Yeah. And as a listener of this podcast, you'll get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com/gals and enter promo code SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com/gals and enter promo code SPACE80, SPACE80 to get $80 off your first month and show your support for the show. That's Talkspace.com/gals, promo code SPACE80, and treat your brain.
Trade it. Hey, guess what? It's time to upgrade your uncomfortable undergarments. Support for today's episode comes from Honeylove. You've heard us talk about Honeylove before. You might be a bride upcoming. You might just be going to a wedding. It's officially wedding season. But also, if you're just simply seeking everyday smoothing, Honeylove is the go-to for all things shapewear. It's sculpting. It's incredibly comfortable. It doesn't roll down. If you're like sweaty and dancing at a wedding or like
oh my gosh,
a rave, I don't know.
I just went to a wedding in Mexico and I had my Honeylove on just so I wouldn't chafe under my dress. Like, it protected my thighs and I could grind and bump all night.
And there's like sand and salt water involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honeylove shapewear feates lingerie-inspired design details that you're going to want to show off. It's not your grandma's shapewear. I'll tell you that. It's super cute. It's extraordinarily comfortable. It smooths. It lifts in the right spots. It is incredible. So today you can get 20% off your entire order with our exclusive link, honeylove.com/wine, WINE. Support our show and check them out at honeylove.com/wine.
I am so obsessed. Again, like I was talking about this wedding, it was hot, it was sweaty, it was sandy, it was windy, and I looked and felt fabulous because I could be rubbing my thighs together all night and not have a lick of discomfort. I was seriously dancing for hours, and then we went to an after party at the on resort club.
Oh my God.
I didn't take off my Honeylove once. I had to keep up and grind.
Dang.
And it's just like when you're thinking about shapewear, or even for me, I think of it as like a protective undergarment. Honeylove's best-selling Superpower Short, which is the one that I was wearing all weekend, is the go-to. It has targeted compression technology that distinguishes between areas where you want a little more support and areas where you need less compression. Let me tell you, this wedding had an incredible buffet. And Mama went back for seconds. And I did not have the typical shapewear struggle of, can I fit another morsel? Because, honey, you can. Their Signature X targets and sculpts your midsection without squeezing your natural curves. I love my big curvy booty and my cute little waist and my big old tatas, okay? This just makes it all look so flawless, all right? It's designed to work with your body, not against it. That's the key. And you won't have to worry about it rolling down, which is unheard of in shapewear. I feel like every single undershort that I've ever worn always rolls. But the Honeylove Superpower Short does not roll down, and that's thanks to flexible boning that's hidden in the side seams. It keeps that booty up, okay? It's a booty lifter. It's not going to roll anywhere. It's going to keep you from chafing. I don't know what else to say about it, okay? We've all been there. Also, end of the night, especially a sweaty night, the struggle to take off a tight piece of shapewear, the bathroom line out the door, everybody's waiting for you. No. First of all, throughout the night, the Superpower Short has a 100% cotton gusset, so you can skip extra undies, okay? Plus, it has a convenient opening in the panty area for super easy bathroom, so no one's gonna flip out at you while you're waiting in the line. And then it came off so easily at the end of the night. It was truly heavenly. I don't know what to tell you. And it doesn't stop there. They have incredibly comfortable bras, tanks, leggings. Honeylove has it all, okay? Get it.
Treat yourself to the best bras and shapewear on the market and save 20% at honeylove.com/wine. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off honeylove.com/wine. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent ya. Shape your life with Honeylove.
All right, Lucy, what is our background and psych for Swiftie Crimes?
Well, let me tell you. Let me weave you a tale about a little pop star girly in the heat of the millennial generation. Okay.
Oh, God. It is our fault, isn't it?
Well, as we'll kind of get to, Taylor Swift is quite multi-generational. I mean, I know you're not a fan of Taylor Swift. I'm personally not either, but the more that I read and learned about her, quite impressive. Mm-hmm. So just have an open mind, okay? Have an open mind, an open heart.
I will never claim to be an open-minded person, and I'm not going to start now.
True. We'll do our best. So Taylor Allison Swift was born in West Reading, Pennsylvania.
I think it's Reading, but
I think it's Reading.
25 people are screaming right now.
Yep. On December 13th, 1989. So she's a Sagittarius.
A Sag.
At the age of 11, she sang the national anthem at a Philadelphia 76ers basketball game. Okay. So she was already reaching for the stars. At age 12, she began playing the guitar and writing songs. The following year, her family sold their farm in Pennsylvania and moved to Hendersonville, Tennessee, so that Swift could find a record label near Nashville. Ever heard of it?
Yes.
In 2005, at age 15, Taylor Swift signed to record executive Scott Borchetta's label.
Yum.
You fucking love bruschetta, and so do I.
I really do, especially with burrata.
Yes, burrata bruschetta.
Bitch. Soda, bitch. Do I like Taylor Swift now because she signed with bruschetta?
No, because bruschetta is kind of a dick.
Great.
We'll get to it. So bruschetta's label was called Big Machine. So that was her first record label. She signed a 13-year recording deal.
These deals are so wild. I mean, like, looking into the Kesha stuff, it's cuckoo bananas what they lock these people into.
Mm-hmm. We will get so far into it. You don't even know. Mm-hmm. Okay, so her 13-year recording deal produced 6 albums. So these albums were Taylor Swift, Fearless, Speak Now, Red, 1989, and Reputation. As part of the contract, Big Machine Records gained ownership of the masters for these albums in exchange for a cash advance.
Yep.
I mean, she's fucking 15.
Yeah. Didn't know how far she'd fly.
Didn't know how high she would fly. And also, like, who knows who was in charge of, like, signing these deals, like, reading the fine print, you know? It was probably her parents or, so, you know, also just she's so young. They probably offered her a big sum of money and they were just like, yes, let's do this. But yeah, a 13-year contract is a lot.
Yep.
Especially in retrospect. In 2018, Swift left Big Machine and signed with Republic Records and Universal Music Group. In 2019, her former label was sold to Ithaca Holdings, which was a company owned by a dude named Scooter Braun.
Oh, yeah.
And it was sold to him for $330 million. And Braun was already known for managing the careers of Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, and Kanye West. We'll get back to Kanye West. So this meant that the sale also gave Scooter Braun the rights to all of the master recordings of Swift's old music. So everything she had already recorded with Big Machine. So if anyone wanted to license one of her old songs to play in a show or a movie or an advertisement or like whatever, they wouldn't go to Taylor Swift, but they would instead go to Scooter Braun, ask for his permission, and pay him the licensing fee. Yep. She had no control over
where her music was going.
Where her music, these 6 fucking records, was going. So this allegedly was not the agreed upon arrangement with Swift when she left Big Machine. Bruschetta claimed that they offered to let Taylor Swift buy her masters, but that she had declined. By then they were worth
a lot of fucking money too, so they probably were wanting a lot of money for them.
Well, they were like, well, before she left, we offered to let her buy these masters, but she said no. But she's saying like they offered at like a ridiculous, like something super
unreasonable,
stupid. So Taylor Swift denied this, and she was also pissed because she knew that Scooter Braun was a quote, or she is quoted as saying that Scooter Braun is a quote incessant manipulative bully. Essentially, my music legacy is about to lie in the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it. So again,
not a great feeling, I'm sure.
This was in 2018. So we're jumping around a little bit, but if you recall the Kanye West Taylor Swift drama, here's a little rundown. So after she said at the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it, she highlighted Braun's involvement in the creation of Kanye West's music video for his 2016 single called Famous, which she described as, quote, revenge porn music video, which strips her body naked. So the lyrics include, quote, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. And there's a photo on the drive of the video that shows Taylor Swift like a model, like a doll reproduction of her in bed next to Kanye West. And then on the other side of him is Kim Kardashian. So it was really objectifying, misogynist, gross that he put her into the music video, into the lyrics of his song.
Yeah, and there's like dispute over how much consent she gave on any of that. Like there's a phone call.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We're going to get to it. So I'm kind of working backwards here. The tension is traced back to the 2009 VMAs when Kanye interrupted Taylor's acceptance speech for Best Female Video for You Belong to Me. So
with me, but yes, as the non-Swiftie.
You belong to me.
It's You Belong With Me.
Whatever. Okay. That song. You belong
with me.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You belong.
I don't love Taylor Swift, but I am on the autism spectrum, so I've got to remember this kind of shit.
Throughout this entire segment, I am just broadcasting my age. Both my memory, my attention to pop culture detail.
Honestly, this is part of the reason why getting high helps, because then you can just be like, whatever, I'm high, I can't remember stuff.
Well,
built-in excuse, right, Beans?
I will say this is not my first glass of Sauvignon Blanc tonight, so
good girl.
Gotta lube
Such
up
a
for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Such a mom.
Such a mom.
The baby's safe, don't at me. So here are some of the lyrics.
Where is the baby, by the way?
Corey's got her in the other room. Yeah,
okay,
she's totally fine. Lyrics. I'm saying this is the quote from Kanye West at the VMAs. He said, "Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time." Shortly after, a stunned Swift told reporters, quote, I know he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. That was one time where he was not wrong.
Well, he got so much worse. I mean, we all know that he spiraled heavily.
Yep. We do.
Shortly after, a stunned Swift told reporters, quote, I was standing on stage and I was really excited because I just won an award. And then I was really excited because Kanye West was on stage. And then I wasn't excited anymore after that.
And then a chemistry occurred and I was no longer excited.
Poor Tay.
I mean, Beyonce had so much like grace and professionalism in that situation as well. And, you know, she did not have to share her spotlight when she won later in the evening. And with Taylor Swift, like what happened had nothing to do with her. It was not her responsibility.
Nothing.
And you know, it just really speaks to her character in a lot of ways that she would, you know, extend that in the moment.
And I totally recognize that all of these awards are, you know, there's a lot of
it's politics.
There's a lot of biases involved in them, but it's also extremely subjective. So for someone to jump up on stage and be like, "No, you're wrong," it's like, you're just being a spectacle, you know. It was just so stupid. So Tay-Tay was not excited about that anymore after that. So she also claimed that in 2016, Scooter Braun influenced Kim Kardashian, who was then married to Kanye West, to orchestrate a, quote, illegally recorded snippet of Swift's phone call with Kanye West. and had 2 of Scooter Braun's clients collude to bully Taylor Swift online, referring to a FaceTime screenshot of Justin Bieber, Kanye West, and Scooter Braun posted to Bieber's Instagram after Kardashian released the snippet. So there was like a lot of back and forth. Honestly, it's so much like he said, she said bullshit. Like I went through the timeline and it was just like,
fight.
It was so fucking stupid. And I know that it was important to the people involved. But to me personally, could not give fewer shits about. And also it was like a 7+ year.
The snake emojis. I can't, y'all. Like,
I just didn't care. But
I love your hobbies and I don't have to share them with you.
Yes. Love that for you.
Yep.
This was, 10, 13 years ago. I just don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And there's nothing to be gained by covering all of that. So I'm not.
No.
Okay. So after Big Machine was sold to Scooter Braun's company, Swift alleged that Big Machine, under the guidance of Scooter Braun, continued to be an asshole, releasing a 2008 live show in 2020 without her permission, and also blocking her from performing her own songs at the 2019 American Music Awards. In October of 2020, Braun sold the old masters to the Disney family's investment firm, which was called Shamrock Holdings, for $405 million.
Jesus Christ.
So this is $75 million more than what he bought Big Machine for. So he's just continuing to profit off of Taylor Swift's old masters, like big time.
So this shit makes me fucking hate money so much. Money is so fucking stupid. No one should have that much money. Nothing should be valued that highly.
No, but here's the worst part.
Absurd.
So he sold it for $405 million under the condition that he, Scooter Braun, continues to profit from said masters.
So he sold it and then also struck a royalties deal on top of the flat rate sale.
On top of the $75 million.
That's just good business, right, Scooter Braun? You really earned those billions, buddy.
He really earned it.
Yeah, these folks really pulled themselves up by their bootstraps.
So actually, great segue. Swift later described her earlier music, those older masters, as being, quote, beholden to men who had no part in creating it. Totally true.
Yeah.
So in August of 2019, Taylor Swift stated in an interview with CBS's Tracy Smith that she was going to re-record everything in the catalog that Scooter Braun owned. Which
Taylor's version.
6 entire albums, including Fearless, Red, Speak Now, and 1989, and the re-recordings of which were just noted as like Taylor's version. We all know this. By doing so, Swift would be able to prevent Scooter Braun and others from profiting from the masters that she believed she should have owned all along.
Outright, yeah.
This tactical move was said to be inspired by Kelly Clarkson, who tweeted in 2019, quote, at Taylor Swift 13, just a thought, you should go in and re-record all the songs that you don't own the masters on exactly how you did them, but this is a tweet and there's like so many letter U's. I don't know. This is distracting.
It's like makes it hard for you to read.
It does.
You're such a boomer. You need full words.
Exactly how
we
you
cannot
did
abbrev.
Abrev. But put brand new art and some kind of incentive so that fans will no longer buy the old versions. I'd buy all of the new versions just to prove a point. This is what Prince did in the 1990s with a big, famously huge dispute with Warner Brothers.
Yep.
In an interview with E! News in 2023, Kelly Clarkson revealed that Taylor Swift sends her gifts whenever she releases one of her re-recorded albums, like as a thank you.
Yeah.
So this entire thing prompted a discourse on artists' rights, intellectual property, private equity, and ethics within the music industry. And I would argue because Prince did this previously, it's sort of like a new discourse in like the social media age and specifically the music streaming age.
Yeah, and generationally, I mean, not that Prince's music absolutely is multi-generational and withstands the test of time, but I don't think that we would be aggrieved to say that if you stop like a Gen Z or a millennial on the street and ask both of them, like, do you know who Taylor Swift is and do you know who Prince is, that there might be some of those Gen Zers who simply don't know who Prince is.
Well, yeah, and I think that the whole concept of music streaming, because it's so easily accessible to everyone around the world, and just streaming is its own brand new can of worms.
It's changed like the record company game forever.
So I think that
have to buy the CDs that had to be distributed by specific companies.
The tactic is the same, but the playing field is completely different.
So different, for sure.
But I do just want to point out that Prince did it first. And maybe someone else did it before Prince, but Taylor Swift was not the first one to do this. So, publications described her response as influential, encouraging new artists to negotiate for greater ownership of their music. For example, iHeartRadio, the largest radio network in the U.S., proclaimed that it will replace the older versions in its airplay with these Taylor's version re-recorded tracks. So,
I mean, that's big support from a big corporation.
Huge.
So that's gonna make waves.
When Swift moved to Republic Records in 2018, she ensured that they did not pull the same move as Big Machine by negotiating to own the master rights to all of the music she created moving forward. So I will never be in this situation ever again.
Ever again, yeah.
So when she re-recorded all of her old songbooks with Republic Records, she maintained ownership of that copyright to all of the Taylor's version recordings. This also allowed licensors to work with her and her team directly. So just by that alone, she's like an empire-building queen.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
It's way badass. Since then, Taylor Swift has taken the music industry by storm. In the past year, Swift has released Midnights, the Till Dawn edition. Okay, again, I don't know anything about Taylor Swift. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it confuses me as a boomer that when a new Taylor Swift album is forced down my throat by Apple Music, that I get like 50 different albums of different versions, but I don't know what song. Just like play the Karma song, and then I'm done. The album's over for me.
Editions, I know.
That song has a line about a cat in it, so that's
Karma
the one I like.
is a frog sitting on a log.
Oh,
something like that.
Oh.
Also, the Speak
Taylor's
Now.
Version.
Taylor's version. 1989, Taylor's version.
The Frog Box version.
Frog Box version. This 1989 Taylor's version debuted at #1 on Billboard 9 years after its first release and actually outperformed the streaming figures of the original release in the same time period by more than 1,300%.
Damn.
So it's not even just... I mean, a lot of this is like this whole Swiftie movement behind her. Like, everybody knew what was going on. You're gonna download Taylor's version and not, like, the original version, if that's even available to you.
Swifties are also fucking buck.
Yeah.
With their, like, online crusading. Sometimes in a terrifying way, but, like...
We'll get to it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that not just any huge fan base of a pop star, but, like, hers is, like, uniquely terrifying.
We'll get to it. Hence the psych.
Yeah.
I'm so thirsty.
The ASMR of the ice in that fucking cup.
It's
just melting your Savvy Bee.
I mean, it's not horrible.
No, it's
It'd
great
be better
when wine
if it
is
was like
cold.
a hot day.
Yeah.
And I needed more hydration.
Fair.
We've all seen my Stanley. I'm good.
I'm hydrated.
Also, another album, The Tortured Poets Department, which is set to be released on April 19th, which I think is probably close to when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Her Eras Tour became the highest grossing concert tour of all time and the first to gross at least $1 billion. dethroning Elton John's years-long Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour for the top spot.
That's wild.
Imagine dethroning Elton John.
I can't.
I can't either.
That upsets me, actually. I'd be watching my back if I ever dethroned Elton John. I'd be scared to leave my house at night.
Something ain't right. Something ain't right.
Someone would get me.
According to Rolling Stone, the ticket price for the Eras Tour averaged about $238 average, while the typical show grossed over $17 million as she played for roughly a little over 72,000 people each show. That's so much.
That's an unfathomable number of people.
The first thing that comes to mind is that AIDS show in like South Africa in the 80s, like Freddie Mercury's last show in the 90s. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
World AIDS or whatever it was called. It was something like that. I don't think that's what it was called.
But. Why is this reminding you of that? Because of the number of attendees?
Attendees, the ticket price, just like the
pomp and circumstance.
The hugeness of each fucking show.
Got it.
And every city that the show came to is just like the world came to a standstill.
Right. That the whole city shut down.
Yeah. Released on October 13th, 2023, her Eras Tour film became one of the top grossing concert movies ever. And I feel like that's fair because I can't actually think of another concert movie off the top of my head.
Beyonce has one.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that was straight to DVD.
I know. I think it was in theaters. I remember seeing previews for it.
Oh.
There's one that was straight to streaming, but that's different.
Oh, Renaissance.
Yeah. There are other, she's done other like more documentary style pieces, but
yeah, this is just a straight up concert.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's had just a straight up concert from her more recent tour in theaters.
Lemonade was one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, regardless, it feels like a new phenomenon, so I'm not really that surprised that it was like the highest grossing one.
Right.
According to Billboard, the film's domestic gross was $179.2 million. She was also Spotify's most streamed artist of 2023 with over 26.1 billion global streams.
Damn.
Okay, so I'm at the psychology part of this.
Okay.
So this is from our pal Psychology Today. Swifties, fans of Taylor Swift, connect to Taylor through her music and lyrics because of the human survival-based need to feel understood and validated and to have a, quote, tribe of like-minded people. We have issues with the phrase tribe, but like psychologically speaking, it's your group. It's your in-group.
Yeah, community. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. According to a daily diary study, when participants feel more understood by others, they experience significantly fewer physical symptoms and greater life satisfaction. So it's like all sorts of endorphins, all the good stuff. This is what we feel. We need to feel like cuddly, cozy, comfortable.
The feeling of belonging is necessary to human existence.
Mm-hmm. A functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI, study showed that the experience of feeling validated activates the reward and social connection areas of the brain. Another study showed that the feeling of validation created feelings of social connection. So this is the same way Swifties connect. Being part of a community feels good. And also, like, we have this in our own coven. We, share common experiences, similar traumas.
Yeah,
I don't know.
For sure.
The true crime community it feels good to be part of the in crowd.
Yeah.
So during the Eras Tour, fans would exchange friendship bracelets inspired by Swift's song, You're on Your Own, Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard this song. Have definitely seen the friendship bracelets. It reminded me of our beaded lizard.
Yep.
The beaded lizard thing.
This is what the cool girls are doing now.
Totally.
Instead of the lizard.
Mm-hmm. So the bracelet.
We were doing this in the 90s too, but go off, Swifties.
These like beaded letter, colorful beaded bracelets generally
that Tom
reference.
Sandoval wears now.
Everyone wears them. We sold them. We have them.
I know.
Had them.
We had them first.
They're sold out now.
Yeah.
So these bracelets generally reference Swift in the form of song names, album names, and inside jokes between Swifties, of which there are lots because they have like their whole online community, TikTok community. Like they're in with each other.
They're in everything.
I haven't seen it personally, but then again, that's just not my algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's your algorithm, you're probably swamped with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And again, because I am not at all familiar with Taylor Swift songs, here's a little breakdown from Wikipedia about the song You're on Your Own, Kid, which is sort of about reminiscing about growing up and how different chapters in your life begin and end.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard this song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I had never heard the song. I still haven't heard the song. I should have listened to it, but I didn't. So the second verse sees her moving on from the boy and chasing her career aspirations just to realize, quote, my dreams aren't rare. Mm-hmm. When she returns for homecoming, returns to her high school, her hometown, whatever, her friends ignore her and they have moved on with their lives. Towards the end, the song concludes with a hopeful message of self-reflection. So the narrator looks around in a, quote, blood-soaked gown, a la Carrie, and reckons that every misstep was a lesson learned. So, quote, so make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it. You've got no reason to be afraid. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think her lyrics are...
They're fine.
They're fine.
They're cute.
They resonate with, like, young women.
They're very accessible.
They're very accessible.
I've talked about this on Passages before where it's like, this is why Twilight was such a hit. Like, this is why Taylor Swift is such a hit, is that, like, she's decent enough in terms of talent, and what she produces is very accessible. It's very much like the Western, quote unquote, standard. She's
There's
very
nothing wrong
marketable.
with it.
No,
She's talented.
I mean, there's not nothing wrong with it because, like, those standards are pretty rooted in white supremacy. But,
well,
like,
yes,
I don't have a problem with her success. I understand it from a psychological standpoint. Her lyrics are accessible to people of, like you said, cross-generationally, because most people have experienced feeling like an outsider, heartbreak, like, you know, things that so many people create art around because they're common human experiences. Mm-hmm. She's just, you know, she doesn't take a whole lot of risks as an artist, and that's how I feel about it. But, like, that's fine. Make your career that way. It's clearly worked out really fucking well for you. So, like, my opinion does not matter. Like, it will not affect her life. I don't have a problem with Swifties. Like, y'all do you. I'm just not thirsty for it. I'm not overwhelmed or, like, impressed.
That's fine. It's not everyone's cup of tea. And I feel like I personally like Taylor Swift in the way that, like, you know, her aunt is proud of her.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to turn it off
job.
if it comes on shuffle. Mm-hmm. You know.
And it's quite catchy.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that's the fucking, that's the machine at work, baby. That's the fucking, the magic potion.
And just like the numbers, you know, alone are impressive. And of course we can dig into like the social implications of like putting this young straight het white woman on a pedestal and, you know, all of that. But
it's a yes and.
It's a yes and.
Yep. It's multiple things existing at once, which is life in a nutshell. Yep.
So as fate would have it, these friendship bracelets did not just connect Swifties.
Uh-oh.
Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's current boyfriend, as we record this, God only knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
What does he play? Meatball? Football?
Meatball.
He's
on one of those red and yellow teams.
I'm a professional meatball player. Yeah, one of those fucking problematic red and yellow teams.
Yeah, the Chiefs. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So Travis Kelce made her a friendship bracelet with his phone number as like the beads on it.
Is that how he like asked her out?
When he went to her concert at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Arrowhead Stadium. So great. When he could not give it to her in person, probably because her team was like, who the fuck are you?
And no, you can't meet Taylor Swift right now, meatball.
But I'm a football player.
I play meatball.
I'm a sportsman.
I'm in the MFL.
MFL.
Oh, wait, no. N is for national. I don't know why.
MFL, Meatball League.
The Meatball Football League.
The MFL. Well, if you didn't know where you were before, now you do.
Oh my God.
I'm Travis Kelce from the MFL.
I can't. This wine is good.
Anyway, so when he couldn't give it to her in person, MFL,
I'm putting Vaseline on my eyelids.
the news eventually got back to her that Travis Kelce was trying to give her a bracelet.
A meatball.
And she was hungry, so she accepted.
Hey, Taylor. Travel.
Are you okay?
Okay. Hey, Taylor. I promise this will be worth it. Travis Kelce wants to roll a meatball at you across the table with his nose. Are you willing to talk to his agent and sit down with his team?
Meatball?
Will you accept this meatball? And she was like, who? And then they were like, no, trust us. This will be like when the most popular boy and most popular girl in high school got together. She's cheer captain, and I'm on the bleachers. But it's like you're reclaiming it.
He is cheer captain,
and she's not on the bleachers. Well, she is on the bleachers watching him. And then she was like, "Sure, I'll let Travis Kelce roll a meatball across the table at me with his nose, just like Lady and the Tramp." And now they're like getting married or whatever.
Honestly,
they're not. Everybody fucking calm down. I don't think they're engaged.
Honestly, he was a boy and she was a girl. And can I make it any more obvious?
This is the career that I want to be talking about. Taylor fucking who? Avril walked so Taylor could run.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Give fucking Avril her.
Disappeared out of the public eye so that Taylor could run. People thought she'd been replaced with a clone. Those conspiracy theories were buck. Insane.
I'm so obsessed.
So back to the fans, and this is going to be the most embarrassing part of my section for me. There are many, many chants and rituals that have apparently collectively developed over the years, and here are some of the most famous ones. Well, I will just be dryly reciting these lyrics because I'm not familiar with any of this.
Oh, no. Okay, I'll try to help.
In the intro to her song Delicate, Swift sings, quote, "We can't make any promises now, can we, babe? But you can make me a drink."
We can't make any promises now, can we, babe? But you could make me a drink.
Are you making this up? Or do you know
I know
this song? Oh, okay.
I am on the spectrum. If I hear a song twice.
Once, bitch.
Once if I really love it. But like at least twice, you're going to think I'd been singing it since I was in the crib.
Sing it. Sing it. Sing this part.
No, I'm embarrassed.
Do it.
No, I just did. I just didn't sing it. I spoken worded it. But
should I sing what I think how I think it goes?
What is it? The iambic pentameter?
I'll sing how I think it goes. But we can't make any more promises now, can we, babe? But you can make me a drink. And the audience will yell back, 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch.
They will?
Yeah.
That's not in the song.
No.
Why that?
So according to Refinery29, the chant originated in May 2018 when fan Emily Valencia shouted this and posted the video on Twitter.
Oh, and then it went viral. Okay, this is going to be the answer to all of my questions.
Well, it's different. The logic is different for each one. So I'm just going to do my own interpretation of how these songs go. During the Bad Blood Bridge.
Okay.
Say that 10 times fast.
Bad Blood Bridge.
That was just once. Taylor Swift sings, quote, "If you live like that, you live with ghosts." And the crowd replies, "You forgive, you forget, but you never let go."
I think the forgive, you forget, never let go part is actually in that song.
Ah, well. This refers to Kendrick Lamar's lyrics in the song's remix. It's a remix. And when Swift sings Anti-Hero, specifically, quote, "Did you hear my covert narcissism I disguise as altruism like some kind of congressman?" The crowd replies, "Taylor, you'll be fine," as a nod to the Bleachers remix of Anti-Hero. I'm telling you, I'm so confused.
You know that song, though.
No, I don't think I do.
Did you hear my covert narcissism I disguise as altruism like some kind of congressman?
It's not ringing a bell.
Wow.
I wish I were as autistic as you, because this would make so much more sense.
You could never.
You could never.
You could fucking never. I cornered the market in this friendship.
Well, I'm jealous of your beautiful brain.
There's no room for any more autism in our friend group.
What about altruism or narcissism?
There's always room for altruism. No room for narcissism.
No, you've got that corner.
I've got that market fucking cornered. Okay. Step off my isms. They're mine.
She's got the tisms, babe. You're the tism girl.
Thank you.
Okay, so here are some fun facts about Taylor. During her Fearless era, I don't know, Swift would draw a blue 13 on her guitar for good luck during her concerts, and now fans pay homage to that era by writing a 13 on their hands.
Okay,
whatever. Taylor Swift is also a former Abercrombie model.
Abercrombie model.
She modeled for them in 2003. So she was like 4 years old. Just kidding. What? She was born in 1989. So she was,
I was like
14. 14.
Wow. Ooh.
Okay.
I wonder if we ever had a bag with her on it.
Probably.
I bet that would be worth so much fucking money now. If only we had been like the cool girls, the popular girls who would cut their favorite bags out and put them on their walls like posters.
Did
you do that?
No, because I think I shopped at Abercrombie maybe twice in my life.
Oh, same. We could not afford it. And
no,
I couldn't fit anything in that store.
That was the clearance rack.
Yeah.
I think
clearance rack purchase.
Unless
we could barely afford like what was it? American Eagle, which was already the poor man's Abercrombie.
Totally. And you only get the paper bags with the models on them if you get the big bag. So you have to buy a lot. So the only things that I ever bought were like maybe one lacy tank top off the clearance rack. And that was just the tiny little dark blue
cami
bag. Yes.
Yeah. You're right.
I don't think I ever got
Abercrombie lacy camis.
Well, 2. I had exactly 2.
Yeah, you layered them quite well.
Yes.
You had a white one and a green one, right?
Babe, I love you for knowing that. Because it was exactly one white one with like kind of beads on the lace and one just like camo green.
Camo green. Yeah. I can picture it so well. Yeah, your lacy camis for Abercrombie. You had a white one and a green one. What?
This is absurd. They were bought on 2 different trips, so I never got the big bag with the models' faces on them. Or else,
listen,
believe you me, I would have cut them out and put them on my closet door.
We're going to fucking Abercrombie, and we're gonna buy all of their stock of like the biggest lacy camis they got, and we're gonna fill that fucking big bag for the first time in your life.
God, I feel like a hole would be filled in my
we're healing your inner child.
I can smell it. I can smell it.
Next time you're here, we're going to Ridgedale.
Tuesday. Meet you there.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're having lunch or dinner or both.
Let's go to the MOA and go to Rainforest Cafe. Go to Abercrombie.
Say no more. This is like a perfect day.
Yeah. It's a perfect day. Nothing standing in my way. Anyway, if this dates us, we are not Swifties. We are whoever the fuck that was. So we talked about how Taylor Swift's favorite drink is Sauvignon Blanc with ice. But another source said that she likes to drink vodka and Diet Coke, which is the most repulsive thing I've ever heard of.
What? What?
Yeah.
That is real bad.
That's so fucking gross.
At least make it Captain. Get yourself a spicy Coke.
Yeah. It's a
Probably doesn't want the calories of
vodka
rum.
Diet Coke. Okay. She surpassed Michael Jackson's record and is the most awarded artist at the American Music Awards. She currently has 40 said awards. Wild. She originally wanted to be a stockbroker, just like her dad.
No, she fucking didn't.
That's what she said.
Shut up, Taylor Swift. Fuck you.
Ancestry.com recently divulged that, quote, Taylor Swift and Emily Dickinson both descend from a 17th century English immigrant. They're related.
I can't.
So Swift's 9th great-grandfather and Dickinson's 6th great-grandfather, who was an early settler of Windsor, Connecticut, were the same person. Swift's ancestors apparently remained in Connecticut for 6 generations until her part of the family eventually settled in northwestern Pennsylvania, where they married into the Swift family line. So this makes Emily Dickinson and Taylor Swift 6th cousins 3 times removed.
Nope.
Genealogists blow my mind. How can you even fucking figure this shit out?
It's unreal and terrifying.
Okay, my last and favorite fact about Taylor Swift is that her cat has a higher net worth than her boyfriend, Travis Kelce.
Shut the fuck up.
Her cat, named Olivia Benson, has a net worth of $97 million. This makes the feline one of the richest cats in the world.
You gotta start pulling your weight, bitch.
I just love that her cat has a higher net worth than her boyfriend.
What's your net worth, Beans?
Oh,
0.
Beans. Little Beanus.
0.
Aw.
Oh, don't scratch me.
I'd give her $20. She's worth at least 20.
I think there's a difference between someone's net worth and I'll give her $20. But thank you for supporting her.
Name them. Anyway, okay, there's the background and
oh my God.
Definitely psych for Taylor Swift.
I'm so glad that you got to make the people laugh with your segment, because now it's time for my segment, and we will not be making the people laugh for the next, 40 minutes?
Oh, God. Okay. Well,
it won't be 40 minutes. I'll do my best. But my God.
Let's get to it. Can't wait.
Okay, let's hear a quick word from our sponsors. Did you know that nearly 75% of people have subscriptions that they've forgotten about? That seems like a big number, but I'm just going to go ahead and say in my friend group, it's 100% of people. It's everyone I know. Yeah, it feels low to me. But before I started using Rocket Money, I thought I had maybe like 5 or 10 subscriptions. I'm thinking about like my TV. I'm thinking about, a couple of magazines that I was getting in the mail. But when I actually signed up for this service, I could not believe it.
When they apps, baby.
I know.
So many apps.
I'm so embarrassed. I was paying for like 15 to 20 subscriptions every month that I had completely forgotten about. It was so humiliating. I can't. Between streaming services, fitness apps, those things I signed up for to get the free trial and then forgot, delivery services, it's never ending. And thanks to Rocket Money, I'm no longer wasting money on the ones that I forgot about.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. And honestly, just so you can act like an adult. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I love when they send like little checkup emails. It's like, hey, here's how you spent your money last week. Hey, you've spent more this month than that last month. And it's like, oh my God. It's just that little full-grown adult in the back of your head. You don't even really have to think about it.
A pocket adult.
A pocket adult. We all need one. So I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. And if I see something that I'm like, hey, I thought I canceled that. Or I
don't want that.
Don't remember doing that in the first place. Rocket Money can help you cancel it with just a few taps. Their dashboard is also super simple to navigate. You can see this month's spending compared to last month, so I can clearly see my spending habits whether I want. I can look at it, but I don't have to see it. You know what I mean?
Let it sink in.
Yeah, plus they'll help me create a custom budget to keep my spending on track because obviously I need that. Rocket Money will even help to negotiate to lower your bills for you by up to 20%. So all you have to do is submit a picture of your bill and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. They will deal with customer service for you, which is just a gift in and of itself.
It is.
Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features.
So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/gals. That's rocketmoney.com/gals. One more time, rocketmoney.com/gals. And treat your wallet.
Trade it.
So let's set a scene. Exterior, a drugstore parking lot near Tremont, Illinois. That's the only time you'll laugh throughout this whole thing. So
okay, let me have it.
Imagine this is you, and Taylor Swift has been following you for weeks.
Classic.
Classic.
Classic Tay.
That's what this person's mindset is. She's always a step ahead of him, stalking him, sneaking into his dreams, and going so far as to hack his phone. She's always watching.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? She's one of the most popular, wealthy, beloved people on the planet, and he's just one man with a history of very serious mental health issues.
Yeah.
So, like, who's going to believe you?
Not me.
In his reality, she's watching him from behind a dumpster in this parking lot, and she's been trailing him for days, and he's barely slept. And this is like the delusion of a man named Travis Ranking, and he was having this episode in a parking lot in Illinois in May of 2016.
That he thought she was following him.
Yep, and that he has had enough. He's like losing it. He's freaking out. She's been following me for months. I can't get rid of her. She's stalking me.
Okay.
He believed that even his family had been compromised, that Taylor had the police wrapped around her lily white finger. And he did tell the cops about a time where he claimed he had run into her at the Dairy Queen in Morton, Illinois, but when he tried to confront her, she ran, and he chased her but lost her trail. I think that wasn't Taylor Swift.
Ooh.
And if any altercation like that happened at all, you chased a stranger out of a Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
But, it could have been Taylor Swift. She is a slippery one. So
she's probably been to Morton, Illinois.
Maybe. He, all the while, is being made to feel like he's crazy. Even his parents are ratting him out, telling the cops about how he had threatened to harm himself and how he had access to firearms, which, it's good that his parents did tell them that. But Travis is so convinced that this is real that he's like, how could I not take steps to protect myself when Taylor Swift and all the power that comes with being Taylor Swift is after me? When you actually think about it, it's kind of a horrifying delusion.
Yeah. Well, someone with all that power, social power.
That's what I mean. Power, money, protection. If somebody like that was after you, or you thought somebody was like that, somebody like that was after you, I'd be freaking out too.
Yeah.
After resisting arrest in the parking lot, he was apprehended under protest and taken away from the drugstore for a psychological evaluation. And according to Travis, this is all as Taylor had planned, that she had orchestrated this takedown. And even though he is either diagnosed at this point, or it's possible he had been diagnosed previously, I couldn't narrow that down. But he's being told, you have schizophrenia, you're in an active episode, and this is the next course of action to bring you, back to reality. But he doesn't think that the schizophrenia accounts for everything that he's experiencing. It's very hard for someone to
be convinced that they have schizophrenia.
Yeah, and be convinced when they're in a state like this.
Absolutely.
So
I don't know how it would be possible. How it would be possible, really.
So it isn't really shocking that he was not managing his condition and did not have like a long-term care team that was helping him manage his condition. And this is the deep reality that Travis was living in. This was like a vice grip of delusion. He could not escape from it, and it manifested in one of the most tragic ways it possibly could have.
Oh, God.
Reports would be gathered later on showing that he did have a pretty serious delusional fixation on Taylor Swift as a result of schizophrenia. So, like, he couldn't stop ruminating on these thoughts, feelings, fears, ideas about her specifically. I don't know why she stuck in his brain, but once that was the object of his fixation, there was like no stopping it.
Well, she's constantly in the news. Like, I don't even
She's
think
everywhere.
I don't think you have to be a fan of Taylor Swift or her music to be
overexposed to her.
Overexposed. I wouldn't say like bombarded, but like
right.
You hear about her constantly.
All the fucking time. Yes, we do. So he had told a coworker that he had purchased her a $14,000 engagement ring. This is probably not true. And that he was going to marry her. He told another coworker, however, that he was gay and that Taylor Swift had hacked his bank account, that he was still going to marry her, and that like he definitely struggled a little bit with his sexuality. He came out to his parents as bisexual later in his like young adult life. I don't really know how they responded to that, but there were some like letters or something that he had written basically saying that like Taylor had in a dream like forced him to prove that he was bisexual and that like in order to be with her he would have to like have sex with a man. Like he was having all of these obviously like very confusing thoughts about his own identity that was also being tied up in the symptoms of his untreated mental health diagnosis, and it's all just coming together in, like I said last week, a horror soup.
Yes.
In his brain.
Okay.
And again, not to absolve what this man does, but it's important that we look at the why and not just the what and the aftermath. So Travis had another episode almost exactly a year later on June 16th, 2017. An employee of J&J Cranes, this is where Travis worked. He was like a crane operator. And there's a guy at J&J Cranes who worked under Travis's father, Jeremy. Jeremy was like a higher up at this company as well. And so this guy that knew Travis's parents and knew Travis called the local sheriff's office because he had just seen Travis angrily storm out of his apartment above the crane rental, wearing only a pink like bathrobe and underwear and carrying a rifle.
Ooh, okay.
And the coworker also said that he heard him yell, "Is this what you fucking want?" And then saw him throw the rifle in the trunk of his car and drive off. And like, he wasn't like who he was speaking to is not clear. He wasn't, as far as eyewitnesses know, like arguing with another person. He was just kind of yelling that to no one in particular, and then he left.
Okay.
Travis then stormed into a nearby public pool, yelling obscenities and, quote, exposing himself to the lifeguards who confronted him. And when the lifeguards approached, he leapt into the pool and started demanding that they, quote, get in and fight him. I don't think he had his gun. I think his gun was still in the trunk of his car, and it was just him in the pool.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yep. So now Travis was just swimming around in his underwear as, like, the pool empties out because he scared the shit out of everybody that was swimming there.
There's probably a bunch of kids there.
Bunch of kids, and the lifeguards are trying to figure out what to do. And these are like the fucking teenage part-time summer lifeguards.
Lifeguards.
They are not paid enough or like well-equipped to deal with a crisis like
you're
this.
Not trained in mental health crisis intervention.
Yeah, when you're lifeguarding for your summer job. So
no, you're maybe trained in CPR if you're lucky.
Maybe. So the police arrived, but no one at the pool wanted to press charges. He hadn't hurt anybody. And again, this like reaffirms that they never saw that he had a weapon in the trunk of his car.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like brandishing a gun at anybody, but they knew that he clearly needed psychological help. So they didn't want to just like criminalize him, which I can respect from a community standpoint, and we don't have to criminalize him, but like somebody, a professional, should have been made aware of this situation so that care could be coordinated for him, because
he clearly needed it.
These are red flags of his behavior escalating and him falling deeper into his delusion and having these episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, unfortunately, we as a society in the United States don't take mental health issues seriously and often criminalize them. So this incident, as far as I could tell, did not result in like another admission for follow-up for his previous diagnosis after he got taken in after the parking lot incident.
Oh, because there's no way it'll escalate and get worse.
Right. So I don't think there at this point was further like emergency psychological intervention or coordinated care. And without proper intervention, his delusion and subsequent behavior just keeps escalating. So now he's at the White House, like the fucking White House.
From Illinois to the White House.
Yep. He drove to the White House in July of 2017, walks up to the pedestrian entryway and is pushing past like roadblock barriers that they've put up. God. And he goes right up to a uniformed Secret Service agent and says to him that he really needs to talk to President Trump, which hurts. The Secret Service officer, and let's just be clear, like, these folks do not fuck around. Like, the Secret Service is not fucking with you. Tells him that he needs to back away from the entrance to the fucking White House.
Shot.
Like right now, yeah. He is not listening, and he says, quote, "I'm a sovereign citizen. I have the right to inspect the grounds." And you know from our Sovereign Citizen Crimes episode how we feel about this ideology, and certainly how the authorities feel about it.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta fuck around with that.
Yeah, suffice it to say something along the lines of, "I'm my own country. I'm not breaking into the White House. I'm traveling into the White House."
Oh, no.
Is not a good enough argument for the Secret Service as to why you should be allowed to inspect the private residence that is the White House.
Oh, my God.
So that didn't work. And so they're telling him, like, we don't care what kind of citizen you are. Get the fuck away from here. And he still won't leave. And then the officer reported that he took his tie off, balled it into his fist, and started approaching the officer and walked further past the security barriers, saying, quote, "Do what you need to do. Arrest me if you have to." Like, he was so strong in his conviction that he had to talk to the president.
Had to go in.
That he was willing to get arrested, and he was taken into custody. He didn't care. He was convinced he needed to expose Taylor Swift to President Trump immediately for what she's been up to.
Oh, I'm shocked he wasn't shot.
Yeah, I am too, but
is he white?
You know, he is white.
Could have something to do with it.
It definitely could. It often does, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Secret Service and the police are not the same entity. They don't have the same training.
Yeah, they often work in tandem, though.
They do often
wouldn't
work
be
in tandem.
surprised.
But maybe he just got the right person on the right day who actually cares about preservation of life and de-escalation. Who knows? I don't know.
Human rights.
Yep. So they arrest him for unlawful entry. The feds coordinate with local law enforcement because they have to take his guns away. He doesn't go to jail. It's like this. I think he went to jail, and then at trial it was like, okay, we're not going to make you serve more time, but you are not allowed to have firearms, and you need a mental health evaluation. So that's what they say, but this is America, so that's just easier said than done. So August 2017, it's 2 months later. He still has his guns because it's a bureaucratic process to take them away from him in the first place. And so that takes time. Travis walks up to a squad car and knocks on the window and says he'd like to talk to the officer. And he explains that people are watching him. People are trying to bait him into breaking the law. And that all of this began when he started writing letters to Taylor Swift. He said that's what put him on her radar because he wrote her fan mail. After she got his letters, she and up to 30 other hackers hacked his cell phone, personal computer and had been barking like dogs, like imitating dogs outside of his home. So now he's having auditory hallucinations and like all of these co-occurring.
That's scary.
Elements of his delusion.
I'd be afraid. I mean, those are scary delusions.
It's terrifying. After this incident, Illinois authorities revoked his state firearms authorization. But when they arrived to take the registered firearms that he was no longer allowed to be in possession of, Travis's father, Jeffrey Reinking, was there, and he had a valid registration in the state of Illinois, and he asked if he could just take the guns. I promise I won't let my son use them. I'll hold on to them until he can get his license, his registration reinstated.
Oh my God. Okay.
And they're like, okay, and just let him take them. I'm pretty sure at this time, Travis was living in an apartment like right above his parents. So it was like,
so they're super safe and secure.
Yeah, it's like they're not even out of the same domicile. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
I can't.
Probably less paperwork.
I mean, the cops don't want to fucking do their jobs. They were offered an easy solution that was like fine in the eyes of the law, and they could just leave. Fuck yeah. Of course they're going to agree to that shit. And, you know, spoiler alert, fucking Jeffrey did not keep the guns away from Travis because he's, you know, for all the guns that Travis purchased, and his dad to be willing to be like, yeah, no, I'll hold on to these. It just, there had to have been like a firearm culture in that family already, because if I had seen that, I'd be like, holy shit, no, get these the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't want these in my house, you know, registered gun owner or not. This is too much.
It's a whole take my guns thing. Government's taking my guns.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not that surprised that type of guy is going to be like, here you go, son, you can have your guns back. He claimed later that he, quote, reluctantly gave the guns back to his kid. But like, if he really gave a shit about Travis's safety or other people's safety over whether or not he should be allowed to have his guns, then he wouldn't have fucking given those guns back. This guy did not give a fuck.
Too serious of a... They're guns.
It's too serious of a risk. It just is. And one of them is an AR-15. So it's like...
Oh, good.
Yeah. So Travis's pattern of erratic behavior continues. He steals a BMW, which GPS leads to his apartment complex, like to the parking lot. But the police don't have evidence of who exactly took it, just that it was stolen. So they can't arrest him specifically for that because they don't have proof that it was him who took it.
Okay.
Around this time, he's after stealing the BMW and like once again skirting consequences for his actions. He moves from Illinois to Nashville, Tennessee in an attempt to be closer to Taylor Swift.
Ooh.
Before he left Illinois, he got the guns back from his fucking dad and brought them with him to Nashville. After his failure to punish the world with car theft, he became frustrated and would write in letters, which we'll get to at the end, one of the letters, but that said, quote, "This time I will have to punish them by taking something they can't take back, some of their own lives."
Who's them?
We don't know.
Oh.
And the unfortunate situation is them could be like anybody out in the world that his mind is telling him is like a secret Taylor Swift operative. And that could be literally anyone who makes eye contact on the street accidentally or smiles or says hello could be considered like, oh, why are they following me? Why are they looking at me?
The
like
enemy.
The paranoia just really can compound.
Yeah.
And he was in a very dangerous situation. So he moves to Nashville. We fast forward a couple months to April 22nd, 2018. A man named Chuck Cordero was outside of a Nashville Waffle House around 3 a.m., which is usually one of the best times to be at Waffle House. I fucking love Waffle House. It's so good. I ride or die for Waffle House. Denny's, who? The closest thing we ever got to a Waffle House in this neck of the woods was Perkins, which was decent, but there's something about a Waffle House waffle.
Yeah, Waffle House, because you get breakfast and a show.
Yeah.
It's always a situation at a Waffle House, and I love it.
There's always something or someone fascinating happening at Waffle House. I fucking love it. And yeah, their waffles, there's something about that recipe and probably the years of grease that have made it so seasoned and delicious.
They're scattered browns.
Oh, God. Their coffee. Okay, anyway. This is not a Waffle House podcast, but we did
do a Waffle House episode. You'll have to go back and search for that.
I want to go to Waffle House so bad. Okay, so Chuck is outside of the Waffle House. Travis drives up. He says, quote, "When I saw him get out of his pickup truck, all he had on was his jacket. No socks, no shoes, no underwear. Just a jacket and an assault rifle." End quote.
Jesus.
At about 3:20 a.m., Travis sat outside of the Waffle House in the parking lot for approximately 4 minutes, watching people come and go. He then got out of his vehicle, walked toward the front door, and started firing.
Oh, my God.
Now, I feel so similarly about Travis as I did about fucking Jobert from the Huskers episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I keep coming back to this because it's so egregious and it just makes me so angry. Just the lack of intervention, because that harmed fucking everybody. And the truth is that Travis was unwell in a very, very serious way and was teetering on the edge for a long fucking time. And the signs were there over and over and over again, and he never got the long-term consistent care that he needed to be safer for himself and others.
Oh my God.
And at this point, he's gone down to Nashville and he's been living there a few months, and he still hasn't gotten to Taylor Swift. He hasn't been able to reach the point of his fixation. So now he's lashing out at the world around him, at the imagined conspirators and traitors all around him, in a horrifying outburst of violence that would have been even worse if not for the individual heroic efforts that took place inside of this Waffle House. This story is fucking wild, what happened here. So when the firing started at about 3:25 a.m., James Shaw Jr., who was eating at the Waffle House, thought the sound was because someone in the kitchen dropped a stack of plates. It was very loud, but he wasn't sure what it was. Mm-hmm. And then the reality of the situation dawned on him when he was grazed on the arm near his elbow by a bullet, and he scrambled into the corner of the diner and then toward the bathroom and then looked back to see who was shooting at him. And he said, quote, "I remember I was like, dang, I'm basically in a barrel," Shaw Jr. said. "There's no place for me to go. I looked back and I saw a person lying on the ground right at the entrance of the door. And then I jumped and slid behind the push door. It was like a swivel door," Shaw said. Travis, shot through the door. I'm pretty sure he had grazed my arm. At that time, I made up my mind that he was going to have to work to kill me. When the gun jammed or whatever happened, I hit him with the swivel door."
Whoa.
So he either went to reload or the gun jammed or what, but there was an opportunity, and he had dove toward the door out of the way of gunfire and then pushed as hard as he could on the door to knock Travis over into the parking lot.
Jeez.
The strike knocked Travis to the ground, where the two, then Shaw, jumped on him and they engaged in a struggle. They cursed at each other, they fought, they struggled, but Shaw was able to grab the barrel of the rifle and wrench it away. He had been firing so recently, this all happened so fast, that the barrel was still hot enough to burn Shaw's hand. He burned the entire inside of his hand, grabbing the barrel.
Whoa.
And pulling it away. But he tossed the gun. Oh, I guess he didn't knock him into the parking lot. They were still inside. He tossed the gun over the diner counter. He said, quote, "I grabbed the gun and I kept it pointed down. He had one hand on it. I pulled it away and threw it over the bar." Shaw then shoved Travis out of the building. Travis, naked from the waist down, walked away, but fearing he had another gun, Shaw did not follow him.
Oh my God. And I'm assuming the restaurant's there's other people in the restaurant.
There were several people in the restaurant.
Oh God.
So Travis is returning to his car to rearm because he'd been disarmed by this guy with one of the many weapons that he had brought.
So he did have other guns.
Yep.
Ugh.
And Shaw looks out the front windows that are all shot out and sees him getting another gun out of his truck and runs through the door, rushes Travis, knocks him to the ground, takes his second gun, and then Travis runs away on foot.
Oh my God.
I am so in awe of James Shaw Jr. and cannot help but be continuously sickened that we sink so much money into fucking law enforcement who won't even go into a school in head-to-toe protective gear to stop an active shooter, Uvalde.
Oh God.
while an unarmed member of the community with no protective gear or billions of dollars of federal, quote, support and training can single-handedly stop a mass shooting. Like, where's his lifelong pension and liability insurance and healthcare?
Yeah, he wasn't even a good guy with a gun. He was just a good guy.
Just a fucking brave person.
Oh, my God.
He was also super humble. He said, quote, I didn't really fight that man to save everyone else. That may not be a popular thing, said Shaw, who was raised in the area and attended Tennessee State University and works as a wireless technician for AT&T. He's like just a dude.
Just a dude.
Quote,
Blue-collar dude.
Yeah. He said, I took the gun so I could get myself out. I think he was reaching in his pocket and he was about to reload the weapon and the barrel of the gun was down. So that's when I took my opportunity. I ran through the door at full speed, hit him with the door and took the gun and threw it over the bar. I'm not a hero. I'm just a regular person. You have to either react or you're going to fold. And I chose to react.
Wow.
He also said that the only combat training he had was wrestling his daughter to bed.
Oh.
I know. Isn't that so fucking sweet? I can't.
Not a hero. He's just a hero.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Chuck Cordero, who had seen Travis in the parking lot and witnessed the attack from outside, said, quote, if he had had a chance to reload, there were plenty more people in that restaurant.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Trey Sneed, another survivor, said, quote, he blasted the windows out and shot his way in. Sneed said the shooter backed him into a corner and placed the gun so close to Sneed's head that he could smell the barrel of the gun.
Oh, fuck.
And that was like right in the same moment, basically, when James Shaw Jr. had come out and gotten the gun away right as he was about to shoot.
Door.
Right as he was about to, quote, shoot me in the head, said Sneed.
Oh, my God. This is so fucking bonkers.
It's horrifying. 1 minute and 27 seconds was the total time of the attack. In 1 minute and 27 seconds, 4 people were killed and countless lives simply destroyed forever. Oh my God. Torian Sanderlin, who is 29, Joe Perez, who is 20, Aquila Da Silva, 23, and D'Ebony Groves, 21, were all killed in the attack.
Oh my God.
Just sitting, eating their like late night food after either like doing shift work or maybe going out. They were just eating fucking waffles and drinking coffee, minding their own fucking business.
At a Waffle House, a Waffle Home.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, due to a diagnosis of severe schizophrenia, Travis was initially found incompetent to stand trial and committed to a mental health hospital for treatment. But that decision was later overturned, and Travis did stand trial for 4 counts of first-degree premeditated murder on January 31st, 2022. At trial, both sides really tried to sell us what exactly was going on with Travis. By us, I mean the jury, but like, you know, they're doing their job. Mm-hmm. According to the prosecution, they said he was lucid, that he wanted to hurt as many people as possible, and that he used the most powerful weapon that he could. The defense said he was delusional and thought that the people in the Waffle House were government agents out to get him. I do tend to lean toward that explanation, that Travis had been living in his own unwell version of reality for so long that he very well may have believed the people in the Waffle House were out to get him.
Yeah.
But like that
why
doesn't
wouldn't we believe that?
Right. I think that is true and also does not absolve him of his crime.
Of course not. And it's an explanation, not an excuse.
Exactly. So, yeah, every system failed him, and every system failed the people who were killed and injured in that fucking Waffle House. That's for goddamn sure. By not intervening and attempting to treat Travis's very treatable condition. There are a lot of people who struggle with schizophrenia and other very serious mental health conditions who, with the right balance of therapy and medication, can live very safe, healthy, normal lives. Mm-hmm. And if he had just been taken seriously and been helped thoroughly and properly and had that kind of support, I really don't think that this would have happened. I really don't. Yeah. So as to his exact mental state at the time, we may never really know. He was convicted on 16 charges total, 4 for first-degree murder, and then sentenced to life in prison. His father, Jeffrey Reinking, who had given Travis his guns back because of fucking course he did, Jesus, And it was like after he got his guns back that he moved to Nashville to be closer to Taylor Swift. And so he was charged with unlawful delivery of a firearm for returning the weapons to his son. Illinois state law forbids people from selling or giving guns to anyone who has been, quote, a patient in a mental institution within the last 5 years. And Travis had at least one brief stint in a mental health facility, like after the parking lot incident. So that had put him in this legal category.
I feel like Travis at no point gave any indication that he was like, well,
doing
like,
great. No,
it was just everyone around him just
didn't take it seriously at all. The Bushmaster AR-15 that Jeffrey returned to his son after he super promised not to killed those 4 people in 42 seconds. Jeffrey was found guilty in May of 2022 and sentenced to a measly 18 months in prison, which feels like a slap on the wrist for his role in 4 deaths.
What?
18 months, a year and change.
And then just to be let free after that?
So this is Travis's dad.
Oh, the dad. Okay.
Yep.
Well, still.
Who gave him the guns back.
Come the fuck on.
Yeah. It's not Travis. I could tell that, like, you were, like, too shocked.
I know, that's why
But, yeah, it's not enough. It's a slap on the wrist.
It's not, I mean, yeah.
And I can, like, not that they're listening to this show, but I can always hear the, like, well, people like this will just find a way to get guns crowd, you know? And it's like, okay, so should we make it fucking easy for them to get guns? Like, we should just not establish consequences for putting deadly weapons in the hands of folks who can't legally possess them, specifically because they have been deemed at the time like a danger to themselves as well as others because of their mental health, like untreated mental health.
That argument is so fucking stupid. Like,
it's so stupid.
Why,
and to me,
why do we prohibit anything?
Right. It's like, fuck off. It's so disingenuous.
You can't
it's not in good faith at all.
Yeah, any person can obtain anything if they want to.
I'll just go get a private jet.
I'll just be 15 and go get some beer. Like,
yeah. No. And to me, this is the exact kind of case that should shut down the whole, like, it's not the guns, it's the mental health crowd, because this shows how much we need to address both of those issues. And instead, as a society, we address, and as our government, we address neither. And the sides of that debate just keep passing the buck back and forth while we do fuck all about it. And then, like, kids in schools and folks at Waffle House get shot and killed for nothing. It's so fucking senseless. And, like, of course, untreated mental health issues can influence our actions. I mean, we need to have access to resources to alleviate that. And we need to make it so that it's not so easy to access firearms, especially when we're in our lowest places as human beings and making decisions that, like, we can't take back, that aren't rooted in, like, safety and reality and reason.
Because clearly none of his prerogatives were rooted in
rationale. They weren't.
Yeah.
They were not rational or reasonable, and they were treatable. And so it's just like, this is why it's so frustrating. It's just fucked up. And, like, the cops also could have kept those guns. They did not have to agree to hand them over to Travis's dad.
Absolutely.
The weight of responsibility for this attack is primarily on Travis and is also shared by a number of people and a number of systems, like most of the fucking cases that we talk about on this show. So I'm just, like, making that very clear that there's so much going on here. This kid didn't just wake up one day and decide on a whim, I'm going to shoot up a Waffle House.
Right.
Like, he had been crying out for help and acting out in ways that should have gotten him help for a very fucking long time.
And kind
help
of like,
just never came.
Like we said earlier, like, you're not going to convince someone who's in the middle of, like, a sociopathic episode that they are in said sociopathic episode. It's not the responsibility should not be on the
person in crisis,
this person, the sufferer of the
that we're not saying the responsibility of, like, murdering people shouldn't be.
No, but in terms of, like, recognizing it, helping them get help, you know, and if this is how this shit happens. And like we also say, just to reaffirm, people with mental illness are a lot more likely to harm themselves than other people.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You know, and that, oh my gosh, Beans just burned off like all of her whiskers going after my candle. You dum-dum, I love you. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Now you're in my world.
Yeah, classic orange cat behavior, am I right? Ray would always, Ghost would never. Peps would never.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, you know what we're saying. Your mental health is not your fault, but it is your responsibility, and people who are in crisis are much more likely to harm themselves than others, and we should be preventing that fucking too.
And we should look out for each other because for all of these reasons and more.
It's just a lot. So
this is incredibly disturbing.
It's sad and it's frustrating, all of it. And after the shooting, investigators searched Travis Reinking's apartment, and in a safe at his home, a stack of letters was discovered. In one of Travis's letters, who was written to Oprah, of all people, it seemed like, well, it just was. He was reaching out to her for help and to tell her what was going on in his mind regarding Taylor Swift. And it's like a pretty heartbreaking read, but it really does give us an inside look at like the ongoing state that Travis was in. So he says, Oprah, I'm writing you because I'm in love with Taylor Swift, and I don't know if I'm delusional or not. I started writing Taylor on June 2nd, 2015. The letters were about dreams that I was having. I saw Taylor for the first time on September 29th, 2015. It was at a concert, and she mouthed the words hello to me while she was singing a song. After that, I started to notice that what I was saying to her was getting repeated back to me on the internet. Also, things that I was doing on my phone and computer. I wrote her and gave her permission to do those things because she was being nice to me and I didn't want her to feel guilty. Later, I took back permission for her to do that because she started being cruel and lying about everything. She catfished me on the internet, made me fall in love with her, and then started being nasty to me. Taylor would link me videos that were correlated to my life. I would use algebraic substitution to assume identities between different characters. Normally, I would see a character as me if they had the same life situations as me. I remember that I wrote Taylor about a dream. She was falling because a female fan tried to hug her and there were no handrails. After that, I watched a movie on Netflix that's called That's Not Us. The female character says to the boy character, you can help me keep my balance by learning to ride this bicycle. I told my family that I was bisexual after that. I never made the connection that the thoughts I had about men meant that I wasn't straight. I just thought it was a sin. It hasn't all been bad, but now she's saying things like, I'm gay and I have to hook up with a guy to see her, but only girls are allowed in her squad. And she says that I'm this is his word, a transvestite. She says things like she's hooking up with other guys, she's hooking up with girls, and that she wants to be in a relationship with more than one person. She name calls me names like Donald Trump because I told her about my science idea and she supposedly made money off of it. She tells me that I can't trust anybody. She tells me things like she has a twin sister. I have evaluated things for myself and I know them to be true. If Taylor wants to live a lifestyle that's unintelligible, we don't know what he wrote there, that's her decision. Living my life the way I want to is my own decision, and she needs to respect that. Also, I feel like Taylor has been trying to get me to meet her places. Why she wouldn't just call on the phone, I have no idea. I tried to meet her one night and I told my parents about it. They called ERS on me and had me forced by the police to get mentally evaluated. I was kept against my will for 6 or 7 days, and the doctor, without a root cause analysis, told me that I was schizophrenic because I was having paranoid delusions of grandeur. When I asked him how he knew Taylor wasn't hacking me, he just said, trust me, she's not hacking you, which, like, that poor doctor. It's like, again, you're not, while they're in that state, it would be, the doctor could have said anything, and this kid's not going to believe him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that stealing someone's intellectual property would be a very plausible cause for someone to hack someone else, especially if it's worth what Donald Trump is worth. Last week, I thought Taylor was telling me to come home. I don't know the truth about her, so I thought the only way I'm going to know is to go see her. I figured that home is where she is, so I went to her house in Los Angeles.
Oh, God.
I don't know how much of this is true and how much of this he's just
A delusion.
writing to Oprah.
Yeah.
Taylor made it sound like I was all good for landing on my way there. She said that it was a trust fall and I just had to do it and trust her. I did it, but when I got there, the place was under construction and looked like it had been abandoned. Okay, so maybe he did go by it. I don't know. Taylor went there and I had driven 1,000 miles to see her. I was mad and posted a video on Twitter of me yelling outside her house. Now I don't know what I believe. I've reached out to the police, the FBI, and even President Obama. I want the internet hacking to stop if it's in fact happening. I want to know for sure if I am delusional or not. This just breaks my heart. Maybe this is someone else on the internet like the government. Maybe I was just wrong and saw different patterns. I'm pretty certain that it's Taylor because that's what they told me and only Taylor should have gotten my written letters. I'm so in love with Taylor and I'm chasing her the only way I know how. You're her friend and I'm sure you would find out if this was real or not. Please, you have to help me. It's been 1.5 years and if this isn't real, I would really like to move on with my life. Taylor would probably like it too if strangers weren't showing up and yelling at her door. If it is real, I want to know why she is pretending to be someone else. I want to know why she is hacking me and stealing from me, and I want to be able to get her help if she needs it.
Get her help.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe something like this is better suited for Maury.
Oh.
I know that you're a caring and generous person, Oprah. If there is an honest person in show business, it's you. Please help me figure this out. Travis Ranking.
Holy shit.
And that's my case.
Stop. That's how you're ending?
Yep.
Bitch.
What else is there for me to say?
I don't know. That whole thing. It's like he's self-aware to a degree that like he might be delusional, but like this these are the things I'm seeing and hearing and feeling and like tell me if he's just trying to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. That was so eerie.
It's very, very sad.
Wow.
It's really fucking sad. And gun violence in all forms is so senseless.
Mm-hmm. And this could have been prevented at many different points.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. So thanks, Sarah.
Well, Sarah, hope you're happy.
Hope you're happy, Sarah. Because that's really what matters, right? That you're happy. Say bye, Beans.
Bye, Beans, you $20 cat.
Oh, you're more than a $20 cat. Your net worth is $1 per $1 million. Wow, that was really embarrassing.
That was really embarrassing. We better end this before it gets worse.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Sarah. I guess I can't promise I'll ever get into Taylor Swift, especially after this. And we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Danielle Sylvan. Music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell. Editing by Jonathan Camp. Our production manager is Andrea Gardner. For photos and sources, check out our blog at wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can follow us on all the socials at Wine and Crime Pod. If you have questions, answers, or recommendations to share, email us at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to show your support and get access to all sorts of wine-fueled bonus content, visit our Patreon page. Cheers!